Day 5 in Slovenia, I realized my big mistake that I had made in Slovenia. It was not a fatal mistake, but it was still I regretted it. I wish I had done more research so that I knew more about it, but oh well. I'll tell you all about it. Stick with me.
Like a pulse, let that energy fly. Moments captured on the glowing sky. Dance the light, let the stories unfold. Feel our heartbeat to the rhythm home.
By this time, I was finding my groove in Slovenia. Oh, hi, by the way, this is Sunny Escapades. I'm Sunny. You're listening to me talking about my story from my Slovenia trip in the fall to capture the fall colors. So, we're talking about day 5. If you have not seen the previous ones, please subscribe and please watch the other ones. You will see some beauty of Slovenia and some stories from there. Lots of interesting stuff in Slovenia. Let's come to day 5. Day 5, I got up early like I usually do, about 6:30, did a little bit of writing, notes and stuff. And after I did my shower and got ready, and then went for breakfast. This time the accent is on went, because this apartment house, the apartment my tribe left, they had booked me with breakfast, but they did not have breakfast facilities there at this time. I don't know whether there was a renovation going on or something, but for whatever reason, they had arranged the breakfast in a local hotel. And they had messaged me already, even before I got to Slovenia, they had messaged me that, okay, we are arranging this there. The breakfast is really good, so you will have no problems there. And it's only a short distance from the apartments. I said, fine, as long as I get the breakfast, what do I care? So for this, I had to take the car and then drive about 5 minutes. It was an easy navigation as well, and I had to drive back on that same, by that little nice church and over that same stone bridge. It was a pretty good drive, I think. Just 5 minutes, but it was the beauty of Slovenia is all there, all mountains and everything. So it was very pretty. And the hotel itself, I think it was a much more posh hotel than my apartments, and at least 4-star. It was gorgeous. Inside was also very luxurious. But the best thing was that breakfast room. Yes, we are going to talk about food again, okay? If you don't know me, you know I talk about food a lot because, well, I like food. I'm from India. We love food. The breakfast room was really huge. Lots of nice tables with lots of space between them. And the breakfast arrangement itself was in a big room as well. And the variety that they had. Oh, wow. You would have heard me talk about this hotel in Athens, and the name of that hotel was Heritage Hill, by the way. I have not mentioned that before. That hotel so far holds the record in my travels for the best breakfast, because they had actual Greek dishes there in breakfast. They had a lot of variety, and I regretted that I could take the breakfast only one day out of my 2 days, because the other day I left early. But this hotel, it was called Hotel Bohinj, and Hotel Bohinj it was at par with that Greek hotel, because they had pizza slices, they had some pies, they had a whole variety of fruits and lots of different varieties of bread. They had eggs, scrambled, boiled. They had a fancy coffee machine as well. Several different kinds of desserts there. So even if you were not hungry, your mouth would water. It was like this good. And because the arrangement was good, there was no staff there for anything, but only at the bar side there was somebody there. And I think I needed maybe a spoon or something. I did talk to the bar staff or something. But the breakfast itself was so much variety, even for vegetarian, or for me like an agitarian they call me, or ovo vegetarian. I had lots of options there to have food. So I did take some bread and butter and eggs and everything, and then had some latte macchiato. Oh, so good, man. I wish I could have eaten more, but I could not. I have my capacity. So that breakfast room, it was definitely worth it. Okay, so I had the breakfast, enjoyed it very much, because the view outside the window was also nice. Like glass wall, one wall was all glass, you could see outside, and a lovely environment. So finished the breakfast, then I went to this place called the Tourist information center. It was so close to this hotel that Google was not able to actually do a proper navigation, but I found it with the signs, and that place was, Bohinj was a much more relaxed place, so there was parking available easily anywhere you went. So I went to this information center, and this had lots of like t-shirts and postcards and magnets and things like that, which I had not been able to buy so far in Slovenia. So here I bought some t-shirts. They were not great designs, but like basic designs with Bohinj printed on them, so which is what I wanted, the Lake Bohinj. So I got that, got some postcards and got some magnets as well. And price was also quite reasonable. I think I spent maybe 35 euros there. It was quite alright. Finished there, came back to my apartment and did a little bit of my normal writing, hanging out, computer, catching up things, and then I had to leave at 11 o'clock, and I was able to check out exactly at 11 o'clock. The checkout time at this apartment was 10 o'clock generally, but I had asked the reception lady, Marietta, you will hear her name a few times, so she had told me, I had asked her, can I have a late checkout? She's like, yeah, it's fine, 11 o'clock, it's okay. So when you travel, make sure if you need something, ask for it. Even if you think they might say no, just ask. Most times you get something just by asking. Late checkout, especially if it's just 1 hour, I've gotten so many places. Late check-in also, 1 hour, 2 hours, yeah, so many places. Just by asking, or sometimes just turning up, and they're like, yeah. If it doesn't work out, the worst that you can do is you'll have to sit in the lobby for a while and read, or watch YouTube shorts, whatever. But you have to ask to at least take a chance. Okay, so this is another thing that I have learned in my travels. Like, I'm otherwise very shy about asking things, asking for favors and stuff. But when you're traveling, you sometimes have to. There's no other choice. So even sometimes you have to ask a favor from a stranger. So you can. Yeah, then I've learned that, and sometimes it mostly works out. I've not had situations where I would be embarrassed because I asked something and then they did not give it to me, because even if they don't, even if they can't, they're usually nice about it. So it's worth asking. So I had asked and I had got that checkout time 11 o'clock, left at 11 o'clock, and Marietta had told me already without me asking that if I want to leave my car in their parking, I could leave it after checkout as well. People were much nicer in Bohinj more than Ljubljana and Bled, because those places are more busy. And I'm coming to my mistake in a second. So I left the car there, put my bags in the car, and just took my drone and the camera stuff with me. And as soon as I went to the lake, by the way, the walk is about 10 minutes and it's a very, very difficult walk. It's not because it's slopes or anything. It's so beautiful in the fall with the sun shining, light filtering through the trees, and the view is so good. You just want to stop every few steps and take pictures. So I found that very difficult to walk through that, because I want to just stop every time. So I just turned my body cam on, like, okay, whatever it captures. But I did still, a couple of places I stopped and took pictures within the 10 minutes walk. Then got to the lake, and as soon as I got to the lake, I realized my mistake. Lake Bohinj and this whole Bohinj area, it's so much better than Ljubljana and Lake Bled area, because both of those, Lake Bled is also like a city. It's very busy, it's very touristy, there are lots of people. Because of that, there's lots of demand on everything. And when I got to Lake Bohinj, from people's attitude, from scenery, from the prices in the shopping mall, everything was better and cheaper and more reasonable. And I told you about the breakfast, right? That was so much better in Bohinj as well. The next breakfast was also really good, and you have to hear about it. So please subscribe so that you don't miss that video. But yeah, so if I had known, so my plan this time was that I stayed in Lake Bled for 2 nights and then came to Lake Bohinj for 1 night. 1 night, how stupid can you be? Like, that place deserved at least 2 or 3 nights to stay there. So if I had known what I know now, I would have skipped Lake Bled, or maybe stayed there for a few hours and then just drove on to Lake Bohinj, because staying over in Lake Bled, I got nothing extra. Okay, Lake Bohinj, it was such a nice one. As soon as I got out of the apartment in the morning to go to that breakfast, It was so beautiful, like misty mountains and trees and the little light. It's an atmosphere that makes poets, basically. So if you stayed there, you would want to write something, you know. It was that pretty, it was that gorgeous to feel. And you can see some of that, and it looks really good in the camera as well. But the stuff that you feel there is a little bit extra. So you get 100% on the screen, you get 110% when you are there. So if I had known that, I would have spent at least 2 nights in Lake Bohinj. That apartment was also much nicer than the hotels. The hotel I had in Lake Blade, and yeah, just everything was nicer. Everything was nicer. And if I had stayed there, I would have gone to that church also again, because I would have more time then, and then do some more drone flying there. But anyway, let's come to Lake Bohinj itself. Lake Bohinj does not have that beautiful church and the island in the middle that Lake Blade has. That is one thing is missing, and the boats. There were no boats. There were no people rowing boats in this. But it's a big lake. I think about as big as Lake Blade itself. It's very pretty. The mountains are right there next to it instead of being too far in the background. And the best thing is the atmosphere is not very busy. It's not very demanding, like you have to move out for people to walk around you. There are lots of people going for walks, coming back from walk. Nothing like that. There were people walking. There was a track right next to the lake and people were walking on it, but nothing close to Lake Blade crowd. And there were fields on the other side of the track. There's lake on this side of the track. It's just so beautiful. I can't even put it in words how gorgeous that atmosphere was, because there were fewer people. There was not that much demand. There were no hotels nearby. There was no road next to the lake. Not right next to the lake. This was not far, but not like car horns and, you know, right next to the lake. Not that kind of environment. Because of that, it was more like Bohinj was more like a village kind of, a community kind of feel, whereas Lake Blade was still more town, city kind of feel. Even though it's a tourist area, both are tourist areas, but so much different. So my advice, if anybody's going to Slovenia, is that maybe go at least 2-3 nights to Lake Bohinj. And if you have to do Lake Blade, just go there in the morning and then leave in the evening. Nothing more than that is needed. Or if you want to still maybe stay 1 night maximum. That's my advice. So, but you can do your own research and you will find that Lake Bohinj is very pretty. One thing that I got here, which I did not get at Lake Blade that much, was that I got to fly my drone with much more freedom. Because there are no trees. There are trees like next to the lake, but then there's a little pedestrian track kind of road, and then next to that big grass fields. So the drone is very safe there. There are no people flying, no people walking that you can fly over them or anything like that, and your drone is safe that you're not going to run into any trees, and you have a lot of space where you can walk. So, and the water in that lake was absolutely like glass clear, very beautiful. So I flew my drone quite a lot there. There was somebody who talked to me there as well. I've told you before that I am usually a bit shy about the drone thing, and if you have not watched the previous video, please watch the one where I went to the West Promenade in Lake Blade, and there I had my little Osmo Pocket set up and people were watching me, looking at me weird, as in like, who is this crazy goof who's flying this stupid thing there? So I do feel a little bit sometimes shy, so I just keep to myself and then don't look at anybody. But here there were not that many people. People were watching, it's fine. And then somebody just came and talked to me as well. And I've said before that I am the only one who feels subconscious and self-conscious about it. People don't. So people just, if they talk, it's normally a good talk. And this guy, he was walking with his girlfriend. He came like, oh, I think I have this same drone as well. And he talked about, okay, what you're flying and all that. And he was like, are you not afraid it might run into any trees? I told him like, this has the obstacle avoidance system. So he said, oh right, mine doesn't have that. So yeah, so that must be the older version, the Mini 2. Mine is Mini 3 Pro. So and then he said, have you tried that automatic thing? So no, I'm always very afraid because I don't get the space enough around it. So the automatic thing is that the Mini 2 also had that. Mini 3 has more automatic features, as in you can program it like an orbit. So it will do an orbit around you. It can do a droney where it goes up really fast. So you can do things like that. But if it can run into trees, because the sideways there's no obstacle avoidance on this one as well. So he said, no, this place is lots of space, and also you can always stop at any time in the middle. So like, yeah, that's fine. So after the event I was like, maybe I should try that. So this was the place, after many times, after maybe a couple of years of not doing it, I actually tried this whole tracking, active track it is called. So the drone can track me when I'm walking from the side or from the front or the back, or it can do orbits. So I did some of those things which I would like you to see. Then I'll tell you the mistake that I made here as well. So here are some of those shots of the lake and of myself. Amazing, right? So once I was doing that, then I did some more of this, and my favorite thing to do with the drone is that I fly it just above the eye level, only a few feet away from me, and then use it as my personal selfie taker. So whatever I'm doing, it can just keep recording me or keep taking pictures while I'm doing my stuff. So I just love it for that. I've used it a lot in Scotland for that. I'll do some more vlogging on Scotland because Scotland is so gorgeous. And if you are not subscribed, please do subscribe so that you don't miss all these gorgeous locations. Okay, so here I did a lot more of this than what I have just shown you. But the stupid rookie mistake that I made was that I forgot to press record. I groaned after that, and I only realized it once I have fully run down the battery, and that was my second battery. And then I'm gonna do it again. Let's take out a third battery. Nope, third battery was run down already. I had charged it last night, but I had not checked that it was getting charged. So it was completely discharged. Like, oh god, stupid. But anyway, what's done is done. So that's why I didn't have time enough to charge the battery again. So like, okay, whatever, let's go. But Lake Bohinj, this one visit, I wish I could do again if I do go to Slovenia. I kind of doubt it because it was a bit expensive. But if I do go back to Slovenia, I would go to Bohinj for about 2-3 nights directly. So this day I had to move on as well. So I came back from the lake, came back to my car, and then from there I was driving to Škofja Loka. Škofja Loka was between Lake Bohinj and Ljubljana, so I was thinking that this is a good way to break my journey, and that's another pretty location as well. So it took me about an hour's drive, and the roads were quite nice as well. And the hotel there, oh my god, I can't say the name because it's a typical Slovenian name, very long. I'll try and put it on the screen, but let's call it Navasi. Navasi were the first two words in there, or maybe Navashi, I don't know. But I can read based on the letters that it was the Navasi Hotel and Restaurant. Okay, in Škofja Loka. That's what it was called. And this was a nice hotel. The only thing was my room was on the second floor. I think it's like the English second floor, not the American second floor. Okay, so in English system, there's a ground floor, then the first floor, then the second floor. So mine was like that, second floor, and there was a card key and all that. And it was a nice size, good, nice clean bathroom as well. It had twin beds rather than a big bed. So I was like, yeah, okay, fine. I don't think I bothered much pushing them together as well. Just slapped on one and used the other one for putting my stuff on there. So, but it was nice. It was a good one, and there was a skylight in the roof, which you could see some of the sky and some of the mountains kind of thing. I think I'm trying to remember. It was good. Anyway, it was a nice room. Not very expensive, and the only thing was there was no lift, so I had to drag my stuff 2 flights up, which was okay, because I did not pack very heavily. So I had only my little cabin bag, the trolley bag, which is the cabin bag size, the under seat size bag, which is my backpack, and also a polythene bag full of snacks that I had bought before, and I was still carrying them because I had not finished them yet. But anyway, so once I got into the room and just looked around, and then decided that because it was going to be this was fall, so it was going to get sunset soon. Not sunset because it was misty day, like foggy, but it will get dark. So I said, what can I see before? So I just did Google, and there's a local castle in Škofja. So I thought, okay, I'll go there. So I went to the castle, and the castle was okay. I did not try to go in. I don't try to go in anymore. I just tried to take the pictures from outside, and there were some fields around there. So I found a corner. There's a bench. Put my bag down, and I was able to fly my drone from there. Just did about 10 minutes of flying, but I think there are some nice pictures. Just take a look and check out. So after 10 minutes when it was done, there was nothing more to see, and it was getting slightly fading light as well. So came back from there, and instead of going to the hotel, I passed the hotel and I went to Brody, this place called Brode, Brody, because I needed to buy petrol for the car. Next day I was going to return the car, and the terms of the car were that I had to bring it back with as much petrol as I took it out with. So I did some calculations based on, because they had given me 6 out of 8, like 6 by 8, which means 3 by 4 tank. So I did check for that online as to what is the capacity of this tank, how much it is empty now, what it will take to get to that 6 by 8 point, and a little bit more because I will have to drive from here Škofja to Ljubljana as well. So with all those calculations, I went and got about 5 liters of petrol. So it was not very expensive on the petrol, and there I paid in cash with counting the change and everything, which always makes me feel more proud when I do that in a foreign country. So then came back to the hotel, and like I've said, this hotel had a restaurant. So that restaurant was on the ground floor of this hotel. Nice long kind of structure and lots of tables, and the food was good. Service was good as well. The waiter I had, he spoke English, and he was very nice, smiling people. I like nice, smiling people in my wait staff. So and he was very helpful as well to give me advice into what I can order. So not many things that were vegetarian, but maybe four things, maybe 3 or 4 items that I could have. I opted for these dumplings with vegetables, and they were very nice. Creamy taste, a little bit less spicy for my taste, so I just put some black pepper on them, but otherwise really nice. And I had fresh orange juice there, which was actually fresh orange juice, as in squeezed there and then. Whereas if you ask for fresh orange juice in UK, what you would get is a bottled juice. The only claim that it has for freshness is that it's not made from concentrate. That might be the only thing. So I'm kind of not used to that, but this was like proper fresh orange juice. So with fresh orange juice and the vegetable dumplings, it was 17 pounds that I paid, so about 20 euros, which is like, par for the course in Slovenia. After that, I just took a little 20-minute nap, and then after that, just hung around because it was dark outside, and I'm not a party person to go out clubbing. So, and I don't know if there were any clubs in Škofja, Loka as well, to be honest. But yeah, it was just like reading, writing, and made a video for my vlog as well at the time, and just slept about like quarter to 1, I think I slept that time. But the next day is coming up now, so this is the 5th day, but the next day, which was kind of the last day of this trip, that also is my travel towards Ljubljana, also some sightseeing, and of course we are going to talk about some food. You do not want to miss that chat about the food, also about the breakfast tomorrow. So yeah, actually there's lots coming up in the next one. Do subscribe and don't miss any of these, because lots more nice stories and beautiful Ljubljana as well. Slovenia was gorgeous. It did not disappoint that way at all. So hang around and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.